there's been a lot of videos going on YouTube about this, but I'm going to title this video as PlayStation VR 2 will be incredible and a reaction, because at the very end of this video I'm going to be doing a reaction to a woman who has hands-on experience with the PlayStation 2, and she will be able to describe it and her experience way better than I'll be able to by telling you from what I've learned from taking notes from watching videos on it. So, here we go. I'm Oled. If you enjoy my content, please hit the subscribe button, like button also, share with your friends if you don't mind. Also, please comment, ask me a question, or comment in general, and I'll do my best to answer them. Also, if you don't mind, hit the notification bell down below, and you will be notified when I go live or upload another video. And if you want to become a fan of me, Oled, then subscribe to the channel, and you will become a fan. I hope so. I really do. Alright. So, I've done a video before in the past on PlayStation VR 2 about the details on it. Well, I got some more details for you also. But in my opinion, this headset, this VR 2 for PlayStation, is going to be incredible in my opinion. The tech that's in this thing. I'll try to do my best to describe it the best I can. Alright, the headset will have rumble, however you want to say it, the haptic feedbacks, the adaptive triggers that are in the PlayStation 5 controller, titled the DualSense. If you've had your, if you've been able to snag up a PS5, or you have a friend who allowed you to be able to play a game or two on it, so you can experience what the haptic feedbacks and the adaptive triggers can do, then hopefully this will make sense to you a little bit. So the headset itself, when you put it on, the part that's on your head will have adaptive feedbacks and adaptive triggers, reaction. It's going to have some rumble in it. However, let's see. I'm trying to read my notes here. You will be okay. When you're like playing a game like the new Horizon game that's coming to PSVR 2, which is Horizon Call of the Mountain. There's parts in the game where you're climbing up in the game, and you actually have to use your hands with the controllers, of course, to do the climbing. There's moments in the game where maybe something passes over your head, or something in the environment is near your head and it interacts. Then that haptic feedback on the headset itself will actually come through, and the headset itself will actually rumble, which is pretty cool. But what I've heard from people who has experienced it, they didn't really notice it, so it felt natural, which is good. So that means it's not really a distraction. So that's really, really good. The PlayStation VR 2 will no longer require a camera for tracking. If you ever owned the original PlayStation 1 VR, it required a camera in order for you to play the games, because the camera would track the headset, track the movements, and plus it will allow you to actually play the games. Well, you don't need the camera anymore, because the PlayStation VR 2 headset itself has 4 cameras built into the front of it. And they do a lot of stuff. A lot of tech is in this headset. It's really amazing stuff, in my opinion. You will no longer have to take the headset off in order to check your surroundings. Like, if you have a friend over, or you got something going on inside your house, or wherever you're at, apartment, or wherever you're playing it at. And so, like, if you heard something was going on, or you needed to just check on something, or just see what your friend is doing, or whatever, there's a button that you can press on the headset now, and it will have this function where you could actually see through the headset, I guess with the technology of the cameras, and you'll be able to see your environment in the real world outside of the gameplay. but it will be like the colors will be in black and white, but you can still see the real world. So that's very interesting stuff. And then you can always hit the button again, and then you can go back into the world of VR through the headset. Also, there's also a different kind of button that's on the headset as well. There may be some more buttons also, but these are the only two that I know of. There's another button on the headset too that you can press. And while you're inside the headset, when you're setting everything up, it's hard to describe this, but if you've ever experienced VR, maybe you can halfway understand what I'm talking about, because I do have the PlayStation VR 1. But inside the headset, you can actually look around your environment inside where you are, and this button that you press will scan your environment. It will, like, I'm not sure how it works. I haven't experienced the VR 2 for PlayStation just yet, but you'll be able to move your head around and draw a line throughout the entire room inside the headset. It'll scan it, so it will know what your environment looks like, and to where it can be pinpointed to where it'll be safe for you to start playing at. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, oh my goodness, I'll tell you, it's amazing. Let's see. Got my notes all screwed up here, but I'll get it. Instead of multiple cords hooked up to the VR for PlayStation, you only got one cord now, and that cord connects from the headset itself all the way down, and it connects to the PlayStation 5 console, because the console powers the headset. A OLED screen, I believe I talked about this before, but there's a OLED screen inside of the headset itself, which is amazing. So you're going to be able to see the game very clearly now, because in the original PlayStation VR 1, I think it was just a regular screen on the inside with the lens, probably like a 1080p screen or something like that. But this one is going to be an OLED screen. And your eyes will be able to see 4K in each eye while inside the headset. And it will also do HDR, and it will do from 90 to 120 hertz. I guess it depends on, well, because your PS5 is going to be hooked to a TV. So I guess it all depends on what kind of TV that you have. If you have a 4K TV that supports HDR, you have a 4K TV that supports 120 hertz. I guess it all depends about that situation as well. But that's very, very cool. Next, the headset won't be front heavy. Now, what do you mean by that? Okay, when you have it on, all the tech and stuff, because you got the 4 cameras in the front of the headset itself, you just think, 4 cameras, that's got to be heavy. No, the headset won't be front heavy. It's designed also for people who wear glasses. Now, the first PlayStation VR for PlayStation, it was supposed to be friendly for glasses, but I've heard a lot of people that complained about it. But this one is really supposed to be designed for people who wears glasses, so you don't have to worry about that. And this right here that I'm about to tell you is causing the PlayStation VR 2 to get a lot of hate. And I completely understand it. It really sucks. But Sony thinks this is the best route to take. They figure if they do it this way, they can have more publishers from other VR headsets be able to bring their games over to this headset as well. I think this is what they're figuring on. I'm just guessing. I'm not completely sure. So, Auckland, just go ahead and tell us the news. Okay, alright. PlayStation VR 2 will not be backwards compatible with PlayStation VR 1 games. So, if you have digital PlayStation VR 1 games, or even physical games, like I do have some physical PlayStation VR games, they will not be playable on the VR 2. Yeah, that sucks. It really does. And it's got a lot of people upset. It's got a lot of people angry. And a lot of people are saying they ain't buying this because they were hoping that it was going to be backwards compatible. And I don't know. We'll see how this thing does. Hopefully it will sell well because the first one sold well. But hopefully this one will sell well as too because the tech that this thing has. And I don't know. We'll see. Now it's about time for me to react to the woman who had her hands-on experience with it. Hopefully she'll be able to, I'm pretty sure she's going to be able to have a better way to tell you and explain it about the VR2 headset because she's actually had time to experience it. And she will have better words and all that stuff to explain it better than I ever can. So, I've seen people react to this video before, so I should be safe to do it. I shouldn't have no copyright problems, hopefully. So, here we go. This is the channel called The Verge. It is a well-known company. I think they're on TV as well. So, here we go. My reaction. Turn it up a little bit so you can hear it.
We've known the PSVR 2 has been in the works for a while, but we actually got to have some hands-on time with the headset and demo a few upcoming games like The Walking Dead, Resident Evil Village, and Sony's own big launch title meant to show what the PSVR 2 is capable of, Horizon Call of the Mountain. But first, let's go through the hardware. The PSVR 2 keeps a lot of the original adjustable design. It's easy to put on, and there's a knob in the back that you turn to adjust fit. That's great, as you can easily accommodate a lot of different head sizes, and I like that it didn't snag on my hair like some other VR headsets I've tried. And of course, you can also adjust your IPD so you get the best image possible. As far as design goes, it's been updated to match the look of the PS5, and altogether it's pretty slick. The headsets,
it looks really nice.
And new VR2 sets controllers, they just look like they fit together. Compared to the original, the PSVR 2 is also way more streamlined. For starters, you don't need to set up a finicky camera stand. Instead, there are 4 cameras embedded directly into the headset.
So now you got a visual look about what I was talking about.
Well. You also don't need a ton of cords or the extra processing unit like before. You can just plug in a single USB-C cable into your PS5, which is helpful since you're not as likely to get tangled up in cables. But a part of me still wishes this wasn't a tethered device. So, is it immersive? That depends a lot on the game, but Sony's added a lot of little touches here and there to help you feel like you're in another world. The headset now has 4K HDR, a 110-degree field of view, and something called foveated rendering using eye tracking. Basically, it's a rendering technique where you reduce image quality in your peripheral vision while enhancing it in the direction you're actually looking. And I gotta say, it works pretty seamlessly. Quick disclaimer, we weren't allowed to capture our own gameplay footage, so what you're seeing in this video is all provided by the publishers.
Which that makes sense.
As for image quality, Sony says you can get 90Hz to 120Hz refresh rates on a 2000 by 2040 OLED display. And while a lot of the games look great, it did feel like there was a bit of a textured layer between you and the game. The best way I can describe it is if your contacts get dry. You can still see clearly, but everything is just a tad hazy around the edges. If you're familiar with VR, you'll know what I'm talking about. That said, I didn't think it distracted from the gameplay. Trust me, I was plenty immersed when some Resident Evil zombies got all up in my face. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. That was a lot. Overall improvements in the displays do make the whole experience a lot more enjoyable and far less tiring. It didn't feel like I needed a long break before jumping back into the fray, massacring hordes of walkers with a chainsaw. My favorite part was actually the haptics. There's now a motor in the headset, and the new controllers also vibrate during the game. And not just when you stab a katana into a zombie's head, which is really fun, by the way. But when I was rock climbing in Horizon Call of the Mountain, You could feel little vibrations when you gripped the rocks. Just added an extra layer of physicality that was really neat. Speaking of the controllers, I really liked them once I figured out which way to hold them. The controls are easy to use, and it borrows a lot of the DNA from DualSense controllers, like the adaptive triggers. The Sense controllers also have finger detection, so your character can do a lot more than just grab onto items or weapons. Unfortunately, it wasn't available in every demo we tried, but it worked fairly well on Horizon. That was definitely the most technically sound game of the 4 that I had the chance to try out. It felt like the world was more interactive and less pre-scripted, making it a much more immersive experience. For example, you can feel your hand bump into virtual objects instead of just getting lost in an invisible wall of pixels. You can break plates, toss boxes, and chuck apples around you if you want. Hell, you can bang a gong if you want, just for the heck of it. When I was using a bow and arrow, I kept one eye closed, like I presumably would in the real world. So, to answer the question, is it immersive? Well, it depends on the game, but my answer would be a big yes. Oh, I did it. Okay. The virtual world was...
She was getting into that.
Parallax effects...
Enjoying it way too much.
Physics in the games also felt real, and even the sense of height felt terrifying. Overall, the PSVR 2 isn't revolutionizing VR gaming, but it's miles better than Sony's first stab at VR gaming in 2016. You'd expect
it's been a while.
A lot of things would change in nearly
That's
6
the PlayStation
years,
1.
And they do. All the
VR,
way from the
you know, the
simplicity
PlayStation
of the
VR
hardware
1.
to performance. We don't know the pricing or availability just yet, but color us intrigued. Yeah, that trick would be nice. That was fun.
But it is releasing in early 2023. That has been confirmed. Now, maybe you, hopefully, if you were still here in the video and you watched this video all the way through, hopefully you did. That moment in the game where she was playing in Horizon, where she was on a boat, and she had her hand in-game and sticking it into the water. Well, I watched another YouTuber describe that moment. When he had done that, he actually felt the haptic feedbacks in the controller itself, and he felt like a rumble reaction when he had his hand in-game as the character that he's playing as go through the water, and it rumbled as he did that. And in the real world, he could like feel like he touched something, which is amazing. The tech in this PlayStation VR 2 is out of this world. In my opinion, it's out of this world. It's amazing. As she was saying, this is not a huge game changer when it comes to VR, but it is a big step over the original PlayStation VR. So, that's awesome. And I'm excited for it. Hopefully you are as well if you have snagged up a PlayStation 5. If you've had a PlayStation VR 1, please let me know down in the comments. Are you angry at Sony for not allowing this to be backwards compatible? Is this not going to affect your decision to get one of these PlayStation VR 2s? Are you still excited about it? It's like, I'm not getting one now, but I was, but not now because it's not backwards compatible. Please let me know down in the comments. Or I would just love to know, have you gotten a PlayStation 5 just yet, or are you just giving up, or you're just waiting for the right moment? Because it looks like the PlayStation 5s are slowly getting easier to get. They're coming into store shelves slowly, and they're becoming available online a little bit much better, from what I heard. Alright, I hope you liked the video. Please let me know down in the comments about anything about this video. I would love to know. Thank you so much. Alright, bye.